Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your kind introduction. Well, it is great pleasure and honor for me to be invited to speak before you today. The title is New Trend of Corporate Management, with a special reference to recent changes. Before attempting to talk main topic, it is first necessary for me to talk about what's happening in Korean society or in entire society of the world. There are many futurists who made lots of predictions about the future of mankind. The typical futurists include Alvin Toffler, he's American. He wrote many books, but his Future Shock, the third wave, are most famous books he wrote. John Naisbitt, he is also American. He wrote a book entitled Megatrend, Asia Megatrend. Paul Kennedy, he's a British. He's a professor of history at Yale University. He wrote many books, but these two books are most famous: The Rise and the Fall of Great Powers, Preparing for the 21st Century. Peter Drucker, he's an American. He's a legendary scholar of management. When I went to NYU Stern School of Management for my further study, I took one of his courses, Business Policy and Management Strategy. He came from Austria during the World War I. He was an immigrant, but he wrote more than 50 books throughout his entire life. And Guy Solomon, he is a French. He used to come to Korea, and he used to give lots of special lectures. He wrote a book entitled Open World and Creation of Civilization, Diary of an Optimist. The book title is also Made in USA. Economy News Tells a Lie. Very interesting title. Jacques Attali, he is also French. Wave of the Future, Lighthouse, and he wrote more than 50 books. So all of these famous futurists talked about new Korean society. New Korean society include number one, she society, 여성형 사회, which means during the entire history of Korea, almost 4,000 or 5,000 years, man first, lady last, was Korean society. So, rise of women power, for the first time, not only in Korea, but also in Asia, lady president was elected, Ms. Park Geun-hye. It's astonishing, because even in America, they didn't have any female president yet. Increased employment of female workers. Well, as you know, lady power, women power is becoming stronger and stronger day after day. So there is a humorous saying that nylon socks and the ladies are becoming stronger and stronger day after day, year after year. Gaining importance of software and hardware, because as you know, most smartphone or wireless phone in Korea use the CDMA technology. CDMA stands for Code Division, Multiple Access, 부호 분할 다중 접속 방식. This technology came from Colloquium from the United States. So Colloquium had no factory, no plant, but this Colloquium company has a strong soft power, soft wave power, so that they can get lots of loyalty every year. So society is becoming much softer year after year. And the gender equality, there is no discrimination against ladies anymore. In the past, ladies are always regarded as an inferior race to men. That was a big mistake. But now, Korea has become she society, 여성형 사회. Now, advent of digital society, electronic device, internet, Facebook, Twitter, KakaoTalk, Naver, Line, etc. is widely used. So Korea is one of the leading ICT country. ICT stands for Information Communication Technology. Now, e-house, e-office, e-factory, e-school. Well, it is my prediction that sooner or later, you don't have to come to school, campus. You can take all kinds of lectures just in your room, in your house. The day will come sooner or later. Now, B2B, business to business, business to customer, customer to B. Now, I would like to introduce that 144 cities in Korea are closely connected by the optical cable communication system, 155 megabit per second. Now 5 gigabit per second. In the years of 2000 and 2004, 155 megabit per second, one set of Encyclopedia Britannica, 24 volumes, can be transmitted in 20 seconds. Can you imagine this kind of technological revolution? It's unbelievable. The third type, Korea has become multiracial society. More than 100,000 foreigners get married, Korean male and female, by the year 2013. The number of children born out of international marriage exceed more than 80,000 already. There are more than 1 million foreign workers employed by local Korean business firms. And last year, the total number of foreign tourists who visited Korea exceeded more than 10 million. This year, they expect about 13 million. Number 4, globalization of Korean economy. Almost 85% of Korea's GDP comes from overseas economic activities. Korea is a small peninsula country. It's also divided. And we had a 3-year Korean War. Almost the entire nation was wiped out by bombing. So every Korean citizen, old and young, was just a beggar. No clothes to wear, no house to live in, no food to eat. So war means the end of everything. Korean companies must go global in order to become global player. Now look at Samsung, LG, Hyundai, Kia, SK, Hanwha. I'm currently teaching global marketing management at GSIS. And I asked foreign student why they came to Korea. First thing, because it's easy for them to get a job after their graduation, because they speak their mother tongue let's say German or French. Then they learn Korean language. And all lectures were given in English. So multilinguist, mother tongue, Korean, English. So if they apply for employment in Korean companies, they are most welcome applicant. That's one of the reasons why they come to Korea. So 70 or 75% of Samsung and Hyundai Motor Company sales come from overseas sales. If any developing countries wants to be a global player, they must have something to sell, either commodity or service in global market. Otherwise, they cannot be global player. Now, let's take a look at what's happening to Korean economy. Korea's foreign trade in 2013, export $570.9 billion, import $510.2 billion. So Korea enjoyed trade surplus in the amount of $60.7 billion US dollars. Korea's foreign currency reserves as of the end of March 2014, we had $354.3 billion US dollars. World ranking, 7th largest foreign currency reserve in the world. Korea's per capita GDP, gross domestic product, in 2013, $23,780. This year, maybe between $26,000 or $27,000. So Korea joined 50-25 club, which means a country which has over 50 million population with per capita income $25,000. Korea joined this club in the year 2011. As a matter of fact, it was an astonishing fact that Korea enjoyed triple trillion economy as of the end of 2012. Number one, GDP, our gross domestic product exceeded 1 trillion. Second, foreign trade. Korea became number 7 member country, which joined over 1 trillion foreign trade country club. And the third, stock transaction in stock market. We have about 32% of foreign equity participation in Korean stock market. Largest investor, United States. Second, Japan. Third, China. And the remaining European countries. Now, let's take a look at what's happening in Korea. Advent of achieving society. Until 1950, when Korean War broke out, Korea was a social status-oriented society. Look at 1, royal family. Number 2, 양반, noble class. Third, 중인, is ordinary people, common citizens, landowners, merchants, manufacturers, who make money but no high-ranking government positions, no high social status. Fourth class, servant class people, 상민, 쌍놈, people who make a living by working as a servant or slave-like status. During the Yi Dynasty, Seoul city was surrounded by some walls, and there were 4 gates: South Gate, North Gate, West Gate, East Gate. All servant class people and the mean occupation holders must commute every morning. They have some special ID card, so they could not live inside Seoul city area. Look at mean occupation holders, 천민계급, butcher, 백정, fortune teller, 점쟁이, 복술가, shamanist dancer, 무당, geomancer, 풍수지리 보는 직관. So all of these occupation holders are regarded as mean occupation holders. So children, I mean daughters or sons of these mean occupation holders cannot get married with high society people. If they do, it's subjected to capital punishment. All families executed. So very strict class. Until 1950, it was very difficult to change one's social status. Now, Korean society has completely changed. Individual social success comes from each person's individual achievement, regardless of your social background, your family background. After the Korean War, Korean society experienced a sea change by widespread higher education. Can you imagine that? Over 85% of high school graduates go to college and university, highest in the world. Land reform. Our first president, Seungman Rhee, did this land reform. So, former tenant became landowners. That's a revolutionary change. Third, dissolution of social status society. In the past, you belong to Yangban. Now it means nothing. If you are mean occupation holder, it means nothing. Even though your ancestors were noble class people, if you are unemployed and if you don't have a highly regarded social occupation, then you are nothing. So even if your ancestors were butchers or shamanist dancers, if you are highly competent individual, you can become president of a country, you can become president of university, you can become minister of the government. So you can be anything, it's up to you. This is what we call achieving society in Korean, 성취사회. So it is a really interesting society. Now, Jacques Attali, famous French futurist, he said in his famous book, The Wave of the Future, by the year 2030 and 2035, the world will be multipolar instead of monopolar. Monopolar means American hegemony. United States will be no longer world policeman. No. So, list of leading countries predicted by Jacques Attali: North America, Canada; Central America, Mexico; South America, Brazil; Northern Europe, Russia; Asia, China, Japan, Korea, India, Indonesia; Africa, South Africa, is what he predicted. These countries will be leading countries during the 2030 and 35. Now, let's take a look at dominant global trend. Number one, expanding globalization. Now they call Colocalisation. It's a new terminology. Colocalisation means globalization plus localization. It is interesting to note that Japanese and French companies always appoint their nationals as the head of local branch or subsidiary companies, whereas Americans never do that. They appoint Korean, indigenous Korean, to be head of their branch office or subsidiary company. And the result, America is always winning because the head of this joint venture company or foreign company make more money, make more profit. If you hire your own national, you have to pay schooling expenses, all kind of allowances must be paid. It costs more money, and these foreigners are not so familiar with local conditions, so they make from time to time big mistakes. That's why Americans are much clever, much wiser. That's why we call globalization, means colocalization. Now, we also say competition instead of competition. Well, throat-cut competition means nothing. If I don't kill you, you kill me. That's a throat-cut competition. Let's forget about it. Now we are living in the age of competition. Competition, C-O-O-P-E-T-I-T-I-O-N, which is new terminology. Competition means competition plus cooperation. Look at Korean Air. Korean Air is a member of SkyTeam Alliance. Many leading airline companies throughout the world are members of this SkyTeam Alliance. When I visited Miami, Florida 2 years ago, Korean Air has no service between Incheon and Miami, Florida. They have passenger flight service between Incheon and Atlanta. When I get off at Atlanta International Airport, since Korean Air has a strong alliance, so-called competition agreement with Delta Airlines, I didn't have to claim my luggage. Delta Airlines moved my luggage from international airport terminal to domestic airport terminal. They shipped my luggage in Delta Airlines airplane. So I could get my luggage at Miami International Airport terminal. So on the one hand, they compete each other to attract more passengers and more cargoes. On the other hand, they cooperate. This is a new way of international cooperation. So we call it competition. Increasing economic interdependence, international trade, foreign direct investment, technology transfer, intellectual property right. So in my honest opinion, it is almost impossible to survive alone without participating in world economic affairs. So we are living in the age of more economic interdependence. Third feature, rise of Asian economies. 40% of the world population dwell in Asia. America's foreign trade with Asia greater than US trade with European countries. Highest economic growth rate in the world in Asia. Keen and tough competition from different industry. Well, I'm very sorry to say that Kodak camera company, which has 131 years of history, became bankrupt, not because of competition from same industry, but because of different industry. Because CEO of Kodak camera company was not engineer, not technician. He was MBA, majored in accounting and financial management. And many technicians, many engineers in laboratory or factory proposed to develop digital cameras. But CEO, no. There is abundant demand for analog camera, analog films. So why should we develop digital camera? It's of no use, is what they say. Now, look at most people, especially all of you in this room, take a picture with a smartphone, not analog camera anymore. That's why Kodak became bankrupt, completely bankrupt. Look at what's happening in sports goods industry. Nike, world famous American sporting goods company. This company recently had some difficulties, not because of competition from same sporting goods industry, such as Reebok, Fila, Asics, Adidas, etc., but because of smartphone. If you analyze 24 hours of a day, 8 hours for sleeping, 8 hours for working, for student, for study. Remaining 8 hours are free time. In the past, from teenagers to 30s and 40s, they played tennis, they played baseball, soccer game, all kinds of sports games. Nowadays, they don't do anymore. They just enter their room with smartphone. They are engaged in games. No more sporting activities. That's why many sporting goods companies have difficulties. This is a new trend, new challenge, new competition. So these days in Korea, fintech means finance, tech means technology, Naver, and KakaoTalk started to engage in so-called electronic financing. They invaded existing financial community. Most traditional banks, financial institutions are not ready to engage in this kind of invasion. So from now on, this kind of trend will increase day after day. Total number of subscribers in the world, worldwide, USA, Facebook, over 700 million, Twitter, over 200 million, WhatsApp, over 200 million, China, WeChat, over 300 million, Korea, KakaoTalk, domestic, 37 million, overseas, 98 million, Japan, Line. Line is a subsidiary company of Naver. It's a Korean company, not Japanese company. Line domestic in Japan, 45 million. Overseas, 125 million. Dina is a Japanese com. Domestic, 7 million. Decolink, domestic, only 50,000. Facebook, you can choose a friend. Twitter, your message can be revealed to Facebook followers. Korea is one of the IT or ICT lead countries. Total number of subscribers: Facebook over 6 million, Twitter over 3 million, mobile phone 55 million, smartphone 32 million, KakaoTalk 37 million, LTE, long-term evolution, fourth generation. Now they are trying to make a fifth generation 5G phone, 9.3 million. G4 phone is 5 times faster than G3 in wireless internet speed. Over 80% of consumers tend to trust advice or evaluation of online friend when they buy goods or service. Consumers' dependability of SNS, social network service, 3 times higher than traditional media such as TV, radio, newspaper, and magazines. Traditional media is one way, SNS two-way, right? So you have to pay due attention to the importance of SNS network. Advent of SNS age. Now let's examine success story of Starbucks SNS marketing. Starbucks established in 1971 by a small coffee shop in Seattle. Over 17,000 chain stores in more than 50 countries all over the world. From middle of 2000, over 600 Starbucks chain coffee shops shut down because of economic crisis in US and Europe. In the age of economic crisis, most consumers prefer below $4 coffee per cup, such as McDonald's or Burger King or Kentucky Fried Chicken. Average price is $4 per cup, much cheaper. As a result, most consumers avoid the high-priced Starbucks coffee. Starbucks organized a 6-member SNS team and started SNS marketing through 11 channels. As of the end of 2009, Business Week magazine chose Starbucks as one of the most successful SNS marketing companies. In October 2008, Starbucks purchased a Facebook page, which has over 200,000 fans. By the end of 2011, Starbucks secured over 7 million fans. Starbucks finally revitalized from management crisis. Now you can understand why SNS is very important in increasing your total sales. There are a number of new marketing techniques. Number one, noise marketing. In order to call special attention from general public or potential customer, marketing department make deliberately noise by making issue or stimulating customers' curiosity. In US, it is called buzz marketing. Second, experience marketing. By participating in certain activities, potential customer could gain some favorable feeling toward a certain company or a certain product. I served as an outside director for Hyundai Motor Company for the past 12 years. Every year, they introduce new model car. They invite about 1,000 or 2,000 passengers and let them drive this new model car so that they can experience how good it is. Then they make up their mind to purchase. So experience marketing is very important. In case of university, we invite many leading high school students to come over and see our campus and introduce some features of each college so that they make up their mind when they apply for admission to college or university. Event marketing. By holding such events as sports games, entertainment, magic show, anniversary event, host company can draw special attention, concern, interest, curiosity, and the participation of existing or potential customers. When South Africa hosted the World Cup games, Hyundai Motor Company was the only FIFA sponsored company, and Hyundai, they contributed not cash, but they made the contribution in kind. More than 500 buses, more than 1,000 passenger cars, free of charge, just a free donation. This is typical event marketing. Charity marketing, by participating in fundraising activities for charity or by donating some money to charity organizations, physically and mentally handicapped people or homeless street sleepers, homeless. So these kind of activities are regarded as new marketing techniques. Now, let me talk about new trend of corporate management. Number one trend, production without a factory. Apple company used to be computer company, not phone company. Apple has no own factory in USA. Apple's smartphones are being manufactured in China and Taiwan. Nike has no own factory in USA. Nike's all sporting goods are being manufactured in Korea, Taiwan, China, Vietnam, Indonesia, and other Asian countries. Benetton of Italy has no factory in Italy. They have a factory in Asia. Major companies tend to place manufacturing order with subcontract companies abroad through ODM, not OEM. ODM stands for Original Development and Manufacturing. In Korea, Korea Kolma Company is a typical ODM company, which means in the past, OEM, they make a specification and they give it to some subcontracting factory. Please make this kind of product. Now, I don't know how to make a toothpaste. Then I come to Korea Kolma. Your laboratory, you have R&D staff members, more than 100, who have the PH.D. degree in each special field. You engage in R&D. You bring us your specification of this new product. Then if we agree, please go ahead and make production in quantity. So ODM is new trend. OEM is disappearing these days. Number two feature, organizing without a formal organization. Many world-class companies tend to prefer non-formal organization by setting up flexible task force organizations. If company organization is fixed, it's rigid, it's not flexible, so it creates lots of problems. Number three, disappearance of time and distance differences because of internet and SNS. Number four, rapid and increased use of user-created contents. Many companies tend to rely more on user-created contents rather than on producer-created content. As time goes by, user-created content tend to create larger size new market. So this is very important. Number five, introduction of big data system. Amazon, which is selling books and CDs online, has introduced the big data system. This big data system enabled Amazon to inform individual customer when the merchandise is shipped and when the customer can receive it. In addition, Amazon, through the customer data analysis, can inform the customer list of new books and new CDs. The potential customer can receive all relevant and additional information. So these days, many companies tend to introduce big data system. Number 6, rapid increase of online sale compared with offline sale. Recent trend shows that consumers tend to rely more on online purchase rather than offline purchase. Chris Anderson wrote a book entitled Long Tail. If you visit 교보문고, they have many best-selling books. But Amazon has no bookstore buildings. They sell online. So they consumers order 1 book or 2 books. This makes a long tail. This kind of small volume order constitute about 80% of total sale. This looks like a long tail. So offline sale is decreasing, online sale is increasing year after year. So you have to develop online sale. Heavy use of 5 F's as a guideline of management strategy. John Naismith and Alvin Toffler, who are American futurists, predicted that the age of 5 F's has come. 5 F's are as follows. Number 1, female. More female workforce, gender equality, more software, less hardware. Prefer soft approach instead of hard approach. More female workers tend to take over male workers' job. So this is a female. Number 2, film. Film means image. More picture taking by smartphone rather than by analog camera. Fashion. Fashion means design, human face, human body, urban and suburban, highway, building, house, apartment, apparel, clothing, etc. Fun. People want to have fun through sports, game, drama, TV, movie, singing, play, music, comedy, etc. Why Korea Wave is so popular among some Asian viewers. Number 5, fusion. Physical and chemical fusion, convergence. Not just one. So in financial institutions, these days they call fintechs, FIN-TECH, which means financial institution plus technology, ICT technology. That's why KakaoTalk invaded financial market by this fintech technique. So you have to pay due attention. Now, let's talk about the new management strategy. What is management? According to O'Donnell and Kuntz, management is to get the things done through and with other people. Other definitions include management is to plan, execute, and control, plan, do, see. Second, management is to organize, recruit employees, assign tasks, train and educate recruited people, evaluate the performance of each unit and each employee, and adjust and coordinate goals of each employee. Third, management is not only the art and technique, but also the science of achieving goals and objectives of organization with and by other people. Now, new trend of corporate management. management in the past, competition mainly from the same type of business or from the same industry. As I explained already, camera company versus camera company. Kodak, Canon, Leica, Minolta, Asahi Pentax, etc., etc. After 131 years of history, world-famous Kodak camera company became bankrupt in competition with Apple and Samsung. Nintendo, world #1 game-related software and hardware producer in Japan, has been in deep financial trouble because of smartphones challenges by Apple and Samsung. So please pay due attention to increasing challenge from different industry, not the same industry. Now let's talk about Michael Porter versus Rita McGrath. Michael Porter, he was a world famous global marketing strategist. He said, Michael Porter, world famous professor at Harvard Business School, wrote a book entitled Competitiveness of Nations and the Competitive Advantage of Nations, in which he asserted that 5 factors: number 1, threat of competition; number 2, threat of potential new entrant in the market; number 3, negotiation skills of buyer; number 4, negotiation skills of supplier; number 5, competition from substitute goods or services will determine a company's competitiveness. His theory worked very well during last 30 years. Now, his theory is not working anymore. Rita McGrath, a professor at Columbia University Business School, published recently a book entitled The End of Competitive Advantage. She argues, in the past, the camera company competed with camera companies only. Now, every camera company must compete with smartphone and iPad companies. It's a new phenomenon. From now on, competitors with the same industry is gradually weakening. No company can win in competition with a different industry if different industry challenges is difficult to defeat. Now, analog camera cannot defeat the smartphone camera function. So it is very interesting to note this fact. Another example, Nike, an American sporting goods company, must compete with not only Adidas, Fila, Reebok, Asics, and Prospex, but also Apple and Samsung, because younger people tend to spend more time with a smartphone than with Nike's sporting goods, which means market share is no longer important. Time share becomes more important. How much time potential customers or current customers they spend with sporting goods or with smartphones. So according to many research results, younger generation, younger consumers tend to spend more time with smartphone than with sporting goods. This new trend. Conclusion, success of an organization comes from high quality management. Successful management depends on technological and managerial innovation, downsizing, harmonious management-employee relationship, productivity improvement through the better communication system, employee motivation, healthy corporate culture, and the timely action-oriented managerial leadership. Management of the company must pay due attention to corporate social responsibility, CSR. CSR include number 1, compliance with global standard of internal financial control and financial reporting. Number 2, gender equality. Number 3, reinforcement of environmental conservation activities through green management, which include energy and resource saving, reducing and eliminating specified chemical substances from product recycling system, reduction of greenhouse gas emission, and preventing air and water pollution. Conclusion. Ultimate goal of management is to create customer satisfaction, customer success, and customer happiness. To manage, employees and subordinates are internal customers. Consumers, shareholders, retailers, wholesalers, and the government are outside customers. From manager's viewpoint, everybody's customer. The purpose of business is to create customer. The profit is the final result of customer creation, is what Peter F. Drucker said. In the past, customer was king. From now on, customer is the God. Therefore, corporate must maximize its effort to bring about not only customer satisfaction, but also customer success and customer happiness. Well, in conclusion, I like to re-emphasize that we are equal partners in common struggle to attain human dignity, justice, freedom, and co-prosperity. Let us not forget our duties, moral duties, as a human being. Many of you come from abroad, and maybe you are first comer to Korea. I'd like to take this opportunity to ask you to join both YWCA Club and YMCA Club. In Western world, YWCA stands for Young Women's Christian Association. YMCA stands for Young Men's Christian Association. Maybe you are thinking I am selling Christian gospel. No. Here in Korea, YWCA stands for You Will Come Again. YMCA stands for You Must Come Again. So please join both clubs. Thank you very much.